We have two-step equations, and our goal is to solve them. Sometimes we don't know what a two-step equation is, and one of the ways that we can imagine it is, hey, if we have x and we're trying to solve for it, what are some obstacles that are kind of making it so that it's difficult to solve? For example, we have this. The reason why it's called two-step equations is because it requires two steps in order for it to make x be alone. But how do I do that? In order for us to do that, I'm going to break it down into the two steps. What is step 1 and what is step 2? Step 1 is always to get rid of the addition and subtraction. So the reason why, instead of getting rid of the 3 in front, because when I notice here I have 3x minus 1, I can either get rid of the 3 or the minus 1, because those are the ones that are stopping x from being alone. But I'm not going to do that, not get rid of the 3 specifically, because when I get rid of the 3, it runs into a problem. Let's say I do this hypothetically. In order for me to get rid of the 3, I have to do division, and I don't like that. I have to do division, and that leads me to having fractions such as this. It's fine, but it's not a perfect, simple, clean answer. So if I'm not going to get rid of the multiplication, I'm first going to get rid of the addition or subtraction. Then what I'm going to do is get rid of the multiplication. So let's look at this. I have 3x minus 1 equals to 11. Following the steps, I need to first get rid of the positive or negative, which is the minus 1. In order for us to do that, I need to do the inverse. Remember that inverse means opposite. So I'm going to write that down. Inverse means opposite. So if I look here, I have minus 1. I'm going to do the opposite. The opposite of a subtraction is addition. So I'm going to put that first. And I'm going to match that number. I'm going to put plus 1. And if I do it to one side, because of the equal sign, I do it to the other. I'm going to put a line to say that equals. The two ones cancel out, which leaves me to 3x equals to 11 plus 1, which gives me 12. Okay, so that's the first step. Now I have the second step, get rid of the multiplication. Well, I have 3 here in the front, and I want to get rid of it. This is saying 3 is being multiplied with x, so I'm going to write that down. 3x is really seen as 3 times x. So in order for me to get rid of it, I have to do the opposite. The opposite of multiplication is division, so I'm going to divide by 3. That fraction sign means I divide. So if I do it to one side, I have to also do it to the other side. So I'm going to divide by 3, which luckily gives me that the 3's cancel out, and I get 12 divided by 3, which is 4. So notice that that's the two steps. If I had to map it out, this is the first step. I got rid of the subtraction, and then later I got rid of the multiplication. Let's try another example to see how we can do that. So I'm going to copy this, and then just remember this idea of inverse. So the idea of inverse still applies even when we have two-step equations. So let's say, for instance, I have now negative 9x, and this time I'm going to do minus 5 equals to positive 4. What am I getting rid of first? I have two numbers in the way, negative 9 and negative 5. But if I remember what I was supposed to do, it says get rid of the addition or subtraction. Okay, so let me see where they are. This negative 9, that's in front of x. That's being multiplied, right? Negative 9 times x. Can't be that one. So I'm going to get rid of this negative 5 first. Well, what's the opposite of minus 5? The opposite of minus 5, the inverse of it, is positive. If I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other because of the equal. The 5's, what happens to them? They cancel out. So all I'm left with is negative 9x equals 4 plus 5, which gives me 9. That's the first step. Now the second step. So the second step, get rid of the multiplication. I have here negative 9 times x. In order for me to do that, I have to do the opposite of this multiplication, which is going to be division. So this means division. Because x is being multiplied by negative 9, I do negative 9 on the bottom. Regardless of whatever happens, I just know that the negative 9's cancel out. So I can just be left with x. 9 divided by negative 9. I see one negative sign right there, so I know for a fact that my answer is going to be negative, and then 9 divided by 9 gives me 1. And that is my final answer. So this is the way that we can approach two-step equations, particularly if there's no fractions. And I'm going to talk about in the next video what happens if there are fractions.